So, how are you doing, man?
I'm good.
Yeah. Hata mimi niko fiti. Naona tuko na
Niko
kajua.
fiti.
Yes. Cheers, man. Cheers. So, unajua this is just a boys conversation getting to talk about ordinary issues. Unajua nimekuja kugundua that when we look at hizi vitu za personal development, growth na vitu kama hivi, sometimes tunaangalia watu wako huko juu, watu wame-establish, tuseme Tony Robbins, very established coaches.
Yeah.
But kitu moja nimekuja kugundua is, even though sometimes we listen to them, sometimes tukikuja kwa where we are, tunaangalia what are the things that inatuface, changamoto gani inatuface as startups, people who want to, business people, you know, maybe we are in professionals, we are in a job, but we want to start something. Ni nini exactly inatuzuia from starting this thing? For you, looking at your personal life.
I don't know. Unauliza kenye nafanya, what is making us not starting, like whatever thing you need to do.
Yes.
Just starting off. What could be holding you back or something like that?
Bro, let me ask you this. So I want to read for you a scenario, and we may cut all this and then just start this at this point. So I want to read for you a scenario. I have been working as a professional for some time. I go to work, I take overtime, I sometimes take 2 to 3 shifts. But I've always wanted to start a side hustle so that I don't have to build on this overtime, because the overtime is draining me. But every time I start a side hustle, sometimes I know everything that I want to do, but I still don't do it.
Yes.
And nimefika ile place that hata sijui what is going on. So can we help this our friend to really find a way?
Now let me tell you something with that. What I'm getting from that, I think I've been in that position at some point.
Yeah.
I wanted to start a business.
Yes.
But I was in employment.
Right.
So now, one thing with employment, I want to tell you today that any employer will never give you any salary to make you rich or comfortable.
Yes.
They'll just pay you enough to keep you coming
back
for more. That is now where the overtime comes in.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
Because it's a loop. You are inside a loop in your
Yes.
Unless you decide to jump out of that loop and go through that difficult thing that you really don't want to start. The reason why I don't want to start it is because of that fear of unknown.
Yes.
You have that fear of, what if I step out of that comfort zone and now I don't succeed?
Yes.
What if I step out and I don't have clients?
Yes.
My business fails.
Yes. Yes.
I don't get. I mean, what if I end up being broke?
Yes.
Because every Friday, every Wednesday, every Tuesday, kuna
paycheck kanaingia. Yes.
Breaking that barrier, so now the paycheck is not coming as it used to, but your needs still have to be met.
Right.
That is I think what is making many people not to make that move.
I think so.
According to me.
No, I think so. But ukiona, there was a time that I got kicked off the system. Yeah. I got fired, right? Yeah.
It was a bad time for you.
It was a bad time. But it's okay. But during that time, nakumbuka nikisema, now I have the time to start
doing your stuff.
To start doing my stuff.
Yeah.
But still, nilikuwa napata kuna challenge mahali. So, do you think it's also just the paycheck? What could be the thing that ilikuwa inanifanya at that point?
I feel your point, you're dealing with a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly. Being that nakujua pia. It wasn't just about breaking that knee and just focusing, because it didn't happen knowingly, like you didn't expect it to happen that way.
Yes.
So you're dealing with the psychological effects of the same.
Yes.
You're dealing with the financial effects, like all those things. It takes a toll on you as a person.
Yes.
Your plans, your patterns of payments and all these things, they have to be interrupted. And you being at the center of it all, you're taking it all in.
Yes.
And as like me, I'm a man, I can relate in a job, and there's one to tell you Paul, there's one to give you that assistance.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, you fight all those battles into moja.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, there are downtimes. I told you, human beings, at some point, are on a downtime. Like, you just don't feel like going to work, you're broke, you don't feel like looking for that money, you just there, like, you could down.
Yes. Yes.
The moment you recognize, then it's important you recognize that you go downtime. Because if you don't recognize, you might spiral down to depression.
Yes.
Downtime.
Downtown get tired, lakini tunaongelea downtime.
So downtime to me is a moment for you to just relax. Kani kulala. Do kama ni mtu wa games, kucheza video game. I love video games. Yes. I play my video games at that time because yes, I'm broke, but will I die? Will I die? Will I kill myself?
Yes.
No. Yes. Let me play my game there. Maybe times sina client, sina nini, sina pesa. So nini? Sasa nicheze game yangu. That's what I can do.
It also helps you to kind of unwind.
Your mind unwinds. Your mind gets off. Your mind relaxes. Your mind starts to connect patterns and look for opportunity. Your mind is greater than you. You should realize that akili yako.
Acha nikwambie the funny thing. When I was in my downtime, so funny thing, I'm not a gamer. My son likes gaming a lot.
Yeah.
And ananiingizanga. And I tried to come in, but you know what really got me to be really stable at that point, to also get off those things? It was getting into spirituality and Bible study. So you know, it's so interesting that the impact, like for you use the gaming to get off that. And I used also the Bible study and the spiritual growth to get off the same. Now, what I found very interesting is when I used spirituality at this point, ilinipea, kuna vile watu wanasema religion is the opium of the mind. Hey, hiyo kitu bana inakufanya hata ujui where the peace inatokelezea. Uko calm manze, hata una rent 3 days tu.
Oh my God. For real?
True. Okay. It gives you some sense of peace that after the Bible says it surpasses all understanding.
Yeah.
But haimaanishi that sasa sifanyi kitu. Sasa nasema I have 3 days. What do I do? And seriously, nilianza kuweka ile target ya kusema niko na this amount. This is the balance I have left. How am I going to make this balance work? So no, work. Unajua sasa una work bila ile pressure or stress. I used to do deliveries and I still do sometimes. But you know, when I do that, manze unachapa deliveries na unaimba tu like you are in a very jolly mood, you know. Exactly. So it makes a lot of sense that what you say, that get your mind off that downtime to just put you in a place where you are not focusing on the pressure and the stress of that moment to something that really empowers you, right? Kuna people who actually use that downtime to really slide into depression.
That's what I say, because
and distraction.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy. I'll tell you a story. One time, I was going through something.
Yeah.
And so I found myself in a downtime.
Yes.
And I didn't realize it.
Yes.
And it took quite some time. And by the time I'm going to realize it had been like 1.5 years down the line. That is 1.5 years of my life lost. Up to today, I can't tell you what happened between that time, between that's to 2017 end of it,
yes,
to 2019 mid.
Yes.
I really can't tell you specifically that I ever did this. That was time lost.
Yes.
In my calendar, nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
I was existing.
Yes. Yes.
Unaamka asubuhi. You don't have a plan. You don't have a program.
Yes.
You just eat because you don't want to die.
Yes. Yes.
So I used to smoke. I don't do cigarettes, so I used to smoke the big one.
The capital B.
Yeah. So I'm like, I smoke, and that's every time now. Yeah. It's like a routine. That's the only thing I can do. And funny enough, I didn't want to talk to anybody.
Yes.
I didn't want to relate to anybody. I didn't want anybody talking to me. I didn't want to even get out of the house to go anywhere. I was just indoors, locked up myself in there. If I have to go out, ni kwenda kurudi. And it took so long because I used to think that now that is me, like that's who I am.
Yes,
like that.
yes.
I used to convince myself that
Yes,
this is
yes,
who I am.
yes,
Like it's just because I went through that. Now this is who I am.
Yeah.
But over time, ilinisumbua because 1.5 years. Imagine that's a very long time.
It's a very long time. Yes.
Yo.
That's about 18 months.
18 months.
Yes.
So
yes.
by the time nakuja kukaa, I was like, I remember there was a time I was jovial.
Yes.
I remember.
Yes.
I used to, now I start recalling.
Yes.
There was a time I used to be very jovial. I used to make jokes. When was the last time I cracked a joke?
Yes.
When was the last time?
Yeah. Unakumbuka.
Moment of realization.
That's right.
Because something's terribly wrong with me. This is not right. This is not who I am.
Yes. And una notice inaenda kispiral. And I like kenye umesema. There are two things that umesema hapo, that in the whole space of that moment, you didn't want to go out. You didn't want to interact with people. Ni nini by the way inafanyanga msee akiwa downtime anataka kujifanya? Because even with me, I remember I just started pulling away. And one of the things I started noticing na mimi nikiwa downtime is nikiwa out ningekunywa. And nikikunywa, I started making very poor decisions. Really bad. Yeah,
Kunywa, definitely.
Na vile mimi lightweight, like I tell you what, funny thing is I would take, it's so funny that we would go hanging out with friends. We put beer and whatever and things hapo mbele.
Yeah.
Mimi nishakunywa bia 2 na nimeisha. So wasema Dennis ongeza bwana. Lakini mimi already nishafika cloud 9.
Oh my god.
So I
bia 2, yeah? Yeni pregame kwa mtu mwingine hata jaanza kunywa pregame like
they used to make fun of me.
Funny.
You know, but kenye tunaongelea ni mbona wasee wanapenda kupull away? Because you know, like for you in your scenario and for people who are watching who may be in a downtime, why do they pull out? And is that the best strategy in your case?
It might not be the best strategy per se, but I feel it's more of a defense mechanism.
Yes.
Because you're coming from a point of hurt. Uliumia before. There's something that happened before ufike hapa.
Yes.
Something must have distracted your normal programming before ndio sasa uenda kuwa hapo.
Yes.
So you're really just trying to defend yourself by just putting these walls and just isolating yourself in some safe space.
Safety, yes.
So that nobody else hurts you again. Nothing else happens to you. So to me it's a different defense mechanism.
I like vile unaisema ka defense mechanism because for me I noticed that when I was out ningechapa hizo bia 2. Kwanza ningeanza kumake ma crazy decisions kama for instance like sasa ningechapa tu story na chapa anaongea tu. Sometimes unachapa
open.
Unakuwa more open. Una notice wasee wanacheka but sasa unakuja unajiambia did I really have to say that?
I really hate that.
You mean too?
I hate waking up in the morning and people are like, Jana. Don't do that, please. Usikumbuke mimi. Usi mimi.
Oh man. So I get it because niliamua kupull out juu sikuwa na hiyo self control in that space. But I think vile nilipull out juu my wife ange notice. Wife alinisukuma tuende church.
Yeah.
So akaanza kuongelea, we need to go to church. We need to go to church. So because I noticed that if I had just gone all the way down, mazee nikiteremka, but huyu akanionyesha akaniconnect na how
I just speak like
Oh, okay. Job.
Acha nikwambia.
Sawa, by God. Sawa. Warenzo. Poa sana ma. Mambo?
Tuko sawa.
Oh, okay. Acha nimpigie. Acha nimuongelesha na nipigie hapa. Kiasi. Audrey.
Hey.
Poa sana. Niko fiti sana. Nimeongea na Warren na niko in the middle of something saizi. But is it right now or it can be later?
Next, how many weeks? I have to confirm. I don't know.
Confirm, alafu unaweza ni text. Like, cause right now siwezi.
I'm being the next time you are available. I just need to tell him and then maybe I put up.
1 hour 30 minutes. 1 hour 30 minutes.
Okay. Let me ask him.
Confirm kama itawezekana. Alafu uni text tu niko kwa shughuli fulani.
Alright.
Sawa, thanks. So hiyo itakuwa imefika hiyo time yako kwenda pia, so that's fine. Yeah, so tuendelee.
Yeah, that's
okay. So kenye nili notice ni what were we talking about? We were talking about history ya pull out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know it's interesting that in that space where we get to lock ourselves, even the people closest to us sometimes do not notice because we sometimes lock ourselves from them.
Yeah.
And I think for me my greatest trigger ilikuwa my wife, because my wife aka notice, hey manze, huyu jamaa ni kama anaendelea tu degenerate, anaendelea go down.
Yeah.
Na ndio akaanza kuniambia hebu get connected to like church, get connected.
Yeah.
Na imagine akaniambia let's look for a church that we really are connected to. So
that's important.
Yeah. So because kuna churches zingine manze unaenda.
There's just going to church to represent really.
Exactly.
But then you're not like, you're not feeling anything. You're not getting anything from
yes.
you. Yeah, I get the point.
Yeah, so imagine we went to a couple of 3, 4, 5 churches until we got to one and akasema, you know what, this is it. Yeah, hapa ndio the place. Na tulienda hapo it's been a real great place. Funny thing is, even in that moment, sijai share na, is that okay? Or
I didn't understand that.
Do you know that for almost a year sikushare na mtu kwa hiyo church anything I was dealing with? I literally just went, but I felt walini accept. I felt like the way I was. I felt like nobody was trying to judge me or even trying to pry into my case or anything. Until mimi mwenyewe nikakuja, actually last year ikiisha ndio nika share my testimony ya vile nimegrow. And vile, you know the thing about it is the moment I kept going and kept going and kept going, hata nilianza kunotice vitu zingine zinaanza kureduce pole pole. Hadi nikafika ile place that I can say that, hey look, this is how I was and this is something that I notice I'm coming out of right now.
Sure.
Yeah, so I really like vile umesema hiyo.
And I feel listening to you, I get that there's a very important point coming out, right?
Yes.
Pia naangalia ingenisaidia ningepata kwa position.
Yes.
Is that having that person next to you can notice something.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Because in my case, I could go 1.5 years easily because I was living alone and I was just by myself.
Yes.
So easily it ended up for a very long time without
Long
anybody.
time. Exactly.
Yeah. Nobody could have picked it up. Ukinipigia simu mimi niko sawa, tunaongea takwambia okay nini na nini niko sawa nini na nini, and then I'm back to my cook.
Na by the way, mbona majamaa wanapenda kufanya hivyo mse? Wajamaa wanapenda kusema
niko sawa.
Mambo ni aje? Uko aje? Niko sawa.
I'm guilty. Never sijui bwana nasema niko sawa because at the end of the day I feel no one really cares.
Yeah.
That's right. Honestly, I don't know. I don't even mean to say it in a bad way, but I just feel nobody cares. Because I don't kumwambia uko sawa, so what? Like, what do you think they're going to do?
Yeah.
Like, are they going to start now doing something for you now? Then you go sawa, let's go. Let's nothing, man, nothing. Hakuna. So, I mean, niko sawa keeps it simple, short, and yeah. I mean, if I'm really in a bad position, then I'm going to reach out and go, yo, hebu nisaidie so $100 fulani naumia.
Unaumia.
Nifanyie hivi na hivi. Unaona?
So ndio reach out pia umesema you are in a place where you're
not going. Kidogo sasa unatuacha. So, because the ego is also there.
Oh man.
Kuna ile ego pia kwa pale. Unaona? Ego ya mwanaume sijui, I don't know. Mwanaume ego, I don't know. It's just something else.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's another topic. We need to
just
discuss ego.
Tuweke uji hapa tuchepe hiyo.
Nini uko bana mwanaume? Mwanaume anaweza lose family, a wife, mwenye akona kids na kila kitu. Everything, a good wife. But because of what thing? Ego.
Do you know hiyo ndio ilini break mse?
Ego.
Because I noticed that I wanted my way. And vile nilitaka my way, so I wanted, honestly, job loss I couldn't affect as much. I've lost my job before. Unaweza enda
You can
figure it out.
Yeah.
But can you clearly break out niko na family.
Yeah.
Niko na watoi. Lakini napenda vitu ziende a certain way.
Pattern fulani, you have your way.
Yes. Alafu hii pattern hata mimi mwenyewe siko consistent nayo. So for example, una notice that tuseme outside unakaa uko well kept, unaongea certain way, you are behaving so well, but nikikuja kwa hao una notice that maybe temper inaanza ku rise, maybe pia unaanza ku get distracted, unaingia kwa kuflat na madem, unaona, alafu una break trust ya the person who
men are dogs. That's why they say that. I don't know why.
Mse,
we're all guilty of that. At one point or the other, man,
yes.
Every man shy flat. I don't care what you say.
Yes.
Every man shy flat at some point.
Every man shy flat
at some point. But
do you know how that thing in a
heart? But it really hurts. It hurts. I know. Sana. It took me time to realize that it really hurts.
Yes.
Kitambo, I used to think like it's all jokes, games, chess, and all that. But I mean, if you put yourself in somebody's shoe,
yes,
then you reverse the roles and then you realize no, kitu si mchezo. It's no joke. you would do it again, no? Yeah.
You know, the thing about it in that ego process is sometimes as a man unasema wanaume wako hivi. Wanaume unajua unaweza ongea kama
wanaume
sisi ni men. Unajua we conquer, we do this. But ukifikiria pia unakuja unagundua that you know, if I did it but I communicated with my partner and we had an alignment, it's a different story from naifanya na ajui. Sinajua sasa kuna hiyo ka integrity issue inaingia hapo. If tumekaa chini tukasema you know what, wewe fanya, mimi nifanye.
I mean we no hard feelings, no hard feelings. Just playing.
Yes.
I mean if you decide to do that, I don't know, but
I don't agree with it, but I think the fact that many people don't do that is where the other person feels hurt. Yeah, because at the end of the day, jamaa anakuja anasema mazee give every part of me to you, na wewe umeamua kufanya hivyo.
I mean it's weird because actually it really hurts if the other person is honestly like he's not playing games, or ako too honest na wewe, and then it's only you doing that. Now that's and then mimi ule msee bana nikijipata hiyo studio I really feel guilty, I really feel bad, and now I start questioning my najipiga kimwili ama
exactly, yes.
But yeah, so mimi usema kitu moja honestly, mimi usema I learn from mistakes. I learn from my mistakes. That's one thing I'm always going to sijaogopa kufanya mistakes. Because at the end of the day, I'm not perfect. Nobody like I'm sure inaonyesha a script ama akasema hii ndio sasa game plan. Let's go this way. No.
Yes.
Me I was born a firstborn.
Yes.
Everything of kwa life yangu imekuwa like practically you trial and error.
Yes.
Nobody's here to show you the way and all that. And I think now it's playing in my life now as an adult. Like I don't want to look up to somebody else to show me the way. Like all my life nimeishi, nobody has been showing me the way. So now nimefika hapa, then now who wants to show me the way?
Yes.
And that's I think one thing nimekuwa nikibattle now for a very long time. Because you find you are in a relationship and then now this lady feels like you should be doing this or you should be doing this. No, we should be. And I'm like
what?
But I think that's what I'm saying. I learned from my mistakes. Your time nikichukua hivyo, that's what I'm seeing. But when I come down and sit down nikianalyze, I say, okay, maybe I was saying this because of this, this came out because of this. So I end up learning that entire process and saying, well, next time if I'm faced with this same situation, I can handle it differently.
Yeah. You know, when you say that, it's interesting that. So I was listening to this coach who shared that watu si ukuwa na different personalities. Kuna the warrior part. And I think men have the warrior coming out very prominently. So there is the warrior part, that the fighter, the part that learns from their mistake, the part that fights. I love there is the lover part. The lover part is the part that wants community.
Oh, so hapo ndio watu wasema I'm a fighter, not a lover. So there's a contrast.
No, hiyo sasa.
Okay.
And guess what? There is a fighter, there is a lover, there is a magician. The magician is the wise one. The one who knows what is good for you and what is not.
Okay.
Yeah, there is the magician. Alafu ya mwisho, this guy anasema, there is the sovereign. The one that is, you are part of it, but it's bigger than you. Anasema that's the part that other people connect to the God. Other people connect to a bigger thing. Alafu unapata kwa mwanaume, because tuko driven na hiyo ego and the desire to assert, we embellish the warrior. So we want to fight. How we fight is different. Sometimes we fight by, wengine wana fight by thorax, kupeleka thorax, anaenda gym, ana lift nini. Wengine wana fight by words. Wengine wana fight na just kuwa very sly and just to find their way around.
Either by success or to work successfully ahead of the rest.
Exactly. So, whatever they do is like, whatever it is, we are going to succeed. So that is the warrior. So what this person anasema is, because of certain things, people feel stuck because one side of them inajaribu kufanya kitu. For instance, if mimi na wife, if I used to bring the warrior part of me to my wife. My wife needs the lover part of me, for sure. But now the warrior part wants to conquer, wants to bring this thing like it's my way or the highway. And now because of that, the wife is trying to pull away. And my wife is like, I don't see this guy. Na juu sasa anipei the things I want. Now the lover part of me feels neglected. Now the lover part of me wants to now look elsewhere, you know? Inaanza kuangalia, sasa nataka ni, unajua, unaanza kusema, naona vile kamepita. Then you want to go out and, you know, you do that. Sasa notice that the moment I was engaging my wife, I was engaging the lover. I wasn't engaging the warrior. But the moment my wife got in,
you engage now the
warrior to change her to match my identity and to match my view of the world. Unaona? Sasa juu sasa anaanza kuona kuna ka change. Kuna difference. Aniingi vile mimi nataka. So anajaribu kupursue vitu zake. Then sasa mimi na engage lover kwingine. And then that's where the mistrust inatokea, vitu zina happen. But hapo sasa ndio the warrior anakuja na gundua, sasa what do I do? For me, what I did, hapo ndio nilifika chini nikasema, I can't lose my family, I can't lose these things. Like, I want to build this. Nikajiambia hata ikimaanisha, I'm going to kill one part of me, I'm ready to let it die.
That's a question nimekusikia vizuri nimeileta.
Yes.
And it's a very strong point. And it's even strong of you to just come out and just say it and bring it out.
Yeah, man.
That's really strong.
It is.
Cool. Let me ask you now this question.
Talk to me.
How did you kill that warrior part? Because some of us have that warrior part really out.
Really out, really fight.
Just try. Just try. Show me. Don't try me.
Don't try me, you know?
Man, that's my mode right now. Yes. And it's for a long
time. Yes.
And it's not even because I want to. It's just I don't know any other way.
Yes. That's the thing. Unajua kama mwanaume unafika ile place it's the only thing you know.
I don't know any other way.
And you know the funny thing is you also provide, you also come out.
Yeah.
So you don't know any other way. Tell me how have you done it?
I'm asking you the same question. I'm literally asking the same question right now. Like,
yes.
How did you end up taming that warrior side of yours to a point you can now say ego in the chini, nini in the chini, I can now become to nurture the lover side come out more.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, us men, and as much as I try to admit, or we don't like admitting, there is that lover side in every one of us. If you really get a good relationship and somebody who's like, hey, if you are reciprocate the same love, I mean, and really enjoy it. Men really enjoy that, and they can do anything to just maintain that. But she did a kwanga because your ego people hapo.
Yes.
Because unapata a good lady and a good akopoa and all these things, but then there are some things that maybe anaweza kuwa nataka ufanye.
Yes.
But you with your ego just feel kama ni hivyo basi.
Acha ikae.
How do you go past this?
Yes.
How do you go past that, like?
Acha nikwambie what I did. Sasa mimi and this coach eventually after I did it, because this was in 2023. Mazee nilifika place nikaambia wife, unajua nini mom? Wewe ndio unaenda ama niende? Ilifika hapo. Like, wow. Are you leaving or I do?
Oh.
Alafu akaniambia, you know what? I'm here with my kids. So you pack and leave. Go.
Talk out.
Guess what? Sasa mimi na leave. Like, do you know how I interpreted that? That ako willing to work this out. Ultimately, alisema hivyo, but aka break down, aka feel like, why are you telling me this? You know, like I want to work this thing out, but you are ready to end it. Ushaifika mahali warrior inakuja nasema sasa hapa nifanye nini? Hapo ndio ikafika place I really just said I surrender. I surrender, and I said if I'm surrendering to something, acha nijaribu, because nilikuwa nimejaribu personal development. Ushaenda ile unaenda course, you bought a marriage therapy course, how to be a better man, how to do this, na sija work. So nikajiambia zimeni confuse kwanza, sasa niko na knowledge kadhaa lakini
jibu hata kuziapply
wapi. Nikajiambia nimejaribu all these things, sijajaribu. I was listening to a sermon, hata ni yeye aliweka kwa radio ya gari, and then I was listening to this sermon, and this pastor was talking about you trying to do it on your own, and how when you try to do it on your own, you are literally like hawezi fanya peke yako. Like give it up and let somebody help you. Just like you said, I mean, somebody helped me. Mimi sijai fikiria msee anaweza nisaidia. I like to do things on my own. So akaniambia no, the pastor was preaching. Akasema you let Jesus help you. So nikasema let me try this thing. Nikajiambia hivyo tu. After all, ikifail, si bado nitarudi tu back, you know, like nitaachana na hizi vitu, kwani life mazee lazima iendelee. So nikidrive to work, I remember I just got a new position as the manager cynic. So na drive hapo naenda job this morning, nimechapa ka radio the same station. Alafu this morning wakaongelea things about the process of doing that. Nikisikiza kaanza kusema ati just say these words. Lord Jesus, I give you, you know, like I know that I'm a sinner, but I know that you died for my sins. So like the person, na mimi na repeat, unajua anasema na mimi na repeat, anasema na mimi na repeat. Kifika mahali nikapark side of the road. Nikafeel ni kama ka weight imeniondokea. Unajua ile weight unatembea na kitu, unajua this is something I'm having. This is my burden, this is my cross. So this thing was lifted off me to this other part. And I was, ushaona mwanaume analia bwana. Juzi nikaona, I think jana wa juzi nikaona jamaa, I think they only post status, mwanaume analia. Alafu, so, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Nikalia nini. But at the end of the day, I felt that weight lifted off me. And that was the journey of beginning to say, if this thing had this weight that imeniondokea leo, I want to know more. So nikaanza kusoma Biblia, nikaanza get to know more of what this means. Hiyo time as status yangu ilikuwa imejaa tu quotes za verses na nini. I was just diving myself into the word. So eventually kili happen that this coach juzi, imagine ni juzi tu, akaniambia, so he was speaking to everybody but I was listening, so basically was also speaking to me. Akasema we have different identities, we have not identities but different personalities. Akaita archetypes. That is where nikakundua I've been living in my warrior zone for a long time. So what I did that day is I let go of that burden the warrior was carrying, nikapaired the sovereign. So the sovereign part of me is the part that I call my connection to Jesus. Other people wanaweza kuwa na different things. And I really don't care what people do, what they call, but for me, I think how I call it connection to Jesus, nimeingiana nayo na ime work for me, and I think for me that this is the path that I'm taking. Ultimately, I don't care what other people choose or whatever faith they go for, but my faith and this and the sovereign part of me, nimegundua, it's that new identity. So when I notice that the sovereign is actually so huge, and the sovereign is so able to take all the burden. Manze nilianza kusikiza sermon, nasikiza ma songs. Unaweza sikia song na hiyo song ina touch on a trauma nilikuwa nayo nikiwa mtoi. na unaiunpack. Pole. Nika notice hizo vitu zikaanza kutokelezea. And imeni it's freeing me gradually so much that hadi saizi I'm able to even talk about it. Because it's not easy to talk about it. It's not easy, but it's just the fact that was the warrior part of me. And even if somebody could look and say, oh, kumbe Deno amefanya hivi, I know that the Deno they're talking about is just a part of me. It's not the whole of me, but there is also the sovereign, which is huge and covers all that. That's how I did it.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, it doesn't seem like an easy journey though, but eventually I think if it worked out, it was worth it.
It's worth it. And funny thing is, during the moment when I did that, it's not easy, to be honest, but it's really worth it. What I also realized is the opposite. So, it reaches a point where we have two sides. There is side A and side B. Unapata, all the sides are not easy. Kuna the side where I had to either step away and leave my family, like I literally ningewakatia tikiti, niwaambie manze, ama nikae nao, nika move to my studio, now providea tu, but sasa acha ni live life yangu. So nimeji-isolate, nakuja naona watoi, I would have chosen that. Nikafikiria that is option A. Alafu nikafikiria hii option nyingine ni option ya, because wife alikuwa already ashaanza like alikuwa na fast, alikuwa anasoma Biblia. Mimi ningemuona anafanya before na nimesema, na unapenda hizi vitu. So hii option nyingine nikasema, the immediate thing was the weight lifted off me, was a confirmation that enyewe this is something I want to nurture. Alafu during that time manze, unajua warrior amesurrender. So warrior amesurrender, I didn't know, because the only thing the warrior knew to do was to look good outside. The warrior liked to please people outside, but inside the warrior was alikuwa na fight. The warrior was like, mse, usipige kelele hapo, hebu enda kwa bedroom, like
outside now you're like,
how do you manage to be so composed?
I got your point.
Kabisa. So to notice, because the warrior may surrender and the lover amekuwa stifled for long, I didn't know how to bring up the warrior again. So nilikuwa kwa ile place hata saizi nikijaribu, sikuwa na motivation ya kufanya some things, sina motivation ya build my side hustle, sina motivation ya go to work. So I was just literally living on that survival mode. Kuna ile mode tu na unasema tu like, wait, if I don't do this, I'll be out on the streets. So, I'm just doing that and I'm doing that. But the most important thing is during that time, hata nika feel connected to people more. Nikaanza kurealize, mazee hata napenda wase, like, kumbe I just like people. Like, I wasn't pretending, I really just like people.
Nice.
So it was just so interesting to realize that kuna hiyo part of me that didn't have to try to be so hard, so much like the all-knowing. It was just so amazing. So in as much as it's hard,
but I feel out of everything you said, to me it boils down to he who finds a good wife finds a good thing. Right.
Huyu jamaa alikuwa
I mean, come on, man. Almost came on like I've been so my wife told me this, my wife, oh my god. I mean, but the bottom line is, I think it's a good thing that your wife led you to the church.
Yes.
It's a very, very important thing that alikuwa hata huko and she stuck knowing God, going through all that difficulty, but trusting in God. Because it was in one of those moments ndio ulisikia pastor akiambia kwa radio.
Ni ukweli.
What if angefanya hivyo? What if maybe alikuwa give up? What if?
That's true. And I think saizi kuna marriages mingi zinaenda into the rocks because mtu mmoja ako down na the other person
is really working to take that person down further. That's the point, because if you see me niko down and we're in a relationship, I feel it's in your position. I mean, it's more of a responsibility now that you're in a relationship with somebody. Kama ako chini, you try and elevate the person.
Yes.
You try and bring them up. And if they're up, you don't try and bring them down.
Bring them down,
You try and elevate them up further, so that the moment amepanda, ni wewe umepanda.
Ni ukweli. And I think kufanya hivyo ni ngumu because kuna hii ego. Unajua hata kama tuko na ego, hata wanawake wako na ego. What they call it shigo siku hizi na hizi family, lakini hizo honestly me I think ni upuzi, honestly. But forgive me if it's taken differently. But I really do think that everybody has an ego. It's not a man thing only.
Everybody has an ego.
The ego of the man desires respect from a woman. The ego of the woman longs for the love from a man. So the natural thing of a man to do is, if you feed the man well and you give them as much support as possible, one of the natural things they could do is to flow in that love to you. If their ego, if they are balanced, if they are not just operating from the warrior like me, if they are balanced, the natural thing is they're going to, like, mwanamke ana awaken the love in the man. Mwanamume, like the action of the action of the man awakens the respect in the lady. So if the man is despicable, like akona tabia zingine like si poa, ina trigger disrespect kwa mwanamke. So ina depends. That's the funny thing that for me in my faith, I take it that God may work in such a way that these two forces antagonize. And the reason for that antagonism for me in my thinking and my faith is so that we can learn to get off our mindset, to get off this side. Because if I notice, there was a time when I was out and about, there were people who used to give me this whole new sense of, maze, unajua, hawanioni all the time. They only see me for that brief period. And they give you a very, like, wako tu, like, they only give you the best part of the respect. Maze, watu una confuse, siwa unasema, nitafute wa pili nini?
Because somebody didn't work kila saa, like, you're not, it's a short time.
Short time.
It's easy to pretend and all of a sudden maintain.
And I was master pretender at that time, you know? So I think what you said, that it's important for the other partner to lift the other up, ni muhimu. The question is, what if the other partner is equally down? What if the other partner ayuko connected to their sovereign part of them, to that God? Then sometimes I think it takes the person who hears the message first, the person who hears that connection, to step up and lift the other part, the other person up.
True.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's been a good talk. I think I've learned a lot, honestly.
Yes.
and I still have so many questions.
Yes.
But I'd like them to, our viewers, to follow us on the next episode. And then maybe we can answer all these questions together. Because I have so many questions, like how are you like finding, this one you're not going to answer now, but these are like some of the things that even those in a rock, and I'd like us to talk about them in the next episode.
Yes.
So things like the Christianity, now that you got into it, and first I would like to know, like, obviously at your age you started hearing about God from Kitambo and all these things.
Yes.
It's not the first time you're hearing it. So what changed? Like, what is it that made you like that, take that U-turn after all these years? You know? So I have that question.
Yes.
And not now.
Of course, I know.
I don't think you can answer me like that. You know that, but just picked up on this side.
No, I like it, bro. Another question. Go ahead.
I'm just putting them on camera so we don't forget.
So we don't forget. Yes.
So the other question would be like, for somebody out there who's really doubting, because the Bible, it's always said that you don't take the Bible literally.
Yes.
It needs deeper understanding. So there are people who question some aspects of the Bible and some things or occurrences in the Bible that maybe to them do not add up.
Yes.
I would like you to maybe address those issues because maybe we should understand some of those things and maybe how you tackle those things.
Yes.
So that is something, another topic I would like you to digest because when you talk about Christianity and people just turning their lives and giving your life to Christ, people have tried. So many people have gone today I'm giving my life to Christ. But then the next day to come up we're like, okay, which is it?
Like which is it?
So, like, how do you know when you've made, like, now it's a final decision?
Yes.
How do you know that this is now a final decision that I've made?
Yes.
So that's how it is that I would like us to like just engage, just talk, because
it's really nice.
Yeah.
Great, guys. So this has been a very interesting conversation. Tumeweza ku open up, share, have real talk around life conversations. Guys, if you love this conversation and you want to be a part of this, please make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and share this with other people who might need this kind of content. And for now, please, let's keep in touch by subscribing. We are going to have another episode soon. Stay tuned for the next release of the next episode next Wednesday. Bye for now.
Bye.
I like that we are creating it as we go.
You're on the road.
You're good.
You're good.
Yes.